Hello there! What is going on, everybody? We are back with another Star Wars Legion unboxing, and today it is the Customizable Rebel Officer and Agent. We are going to be unboxing this pack and looking at the sprues, looking at all the pieces. We're going to put the miniatures together. We're also going to look at all the cards and different ways that you can customize these two characters. You're going to be getting a Rebel Officer, a Rebel Agent. It's going to be a commander and an operative in here, and you're going to have a lot of different weapon options, head options, alien species variety, and lots of different ways to build these two heroes out. So that's going to be very fun. We also did a look at the Imperial version just recently. If you haven't already, we'll have a link at the end of the video where you can check those out. Plus, we'd love to have you stick around. We talk a lot about tabletop games and science fiction games, miniatures games, and everything in between here on the channel. We'd love to have you guys stick around for that. We are still doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway where you just have to be a subscriber or leave a comment on this or one of my other videos to enter to win that. And as I get this open, I do want to also remind you guys about Life Day. We have the 12 days of Life Day that are going to be coming up all throughout December. And we'll be giving away 12 bonus giveaways. And again, if you're subscribed and comment, that automatically enters you to win all of that as well. So we have a lot of stuff in this box. One key difference between some of the other boxes that we've seen, especially with the Imperial one, is this is a smaller box. There's only 2 frames in here. It looks like they also put all the cards in one pack here as well. So smaller box, a little bit more compact. Again, as is typical, we're going to have to go online to get instructions, although I don't think instructions are going to be completely necessary here. We'll look at the sprues and see if it looks confusing or not, and we'll talk about how we would do a build approach with some of those. But I also want to look at all of these cards and everything. So we're going to look at the sprues first in this case. We do have our 2 bases because, again, we can make two miniatures, and we're only going to have these 2. So just at a glance, it looks like we've got lots of different arm options here, and then we've got our torsos and our legs. It looks like one set of legs goes to each torso. One of the things that I found is that they kind of don't want you to mix and match too much, at least with the Imperial version, as like the armored version went with the armored legs, went with the armored torso, and then the cloth legs went with the cloth torso. And you can always kind of clip it off and glue it. So you can kind of do whatever you want, but it seemed like they were kind of made to go from one set to the other one. And it seems like where the arms and legs and heads and stuff, or the arms and heads and weapons, is where it kind of separated a little bit. Let's do some close-ups on this sprue. All right, so I want to start looking at the heads here first. It does look like we have a Togruta right here. We've got some other alien heads. We've got humans. We've got like a Zabrak. We've got a Nautilin in the style like a Kit Fisto-esque Nautilin there. We've got a couple of different pistol options. We've got that big nasty gun right there. I think this is the other half of it. So that one looks really cool. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, so we've got a lot of different head and weapon options here. As we pull up the other sprue, we're going to see we've got our leg options, we've got chest options, right? So those are going to go together. But it looks like we have different backpack options as well. So whereas the Empire had like the droids that you could kind of optionally do, here you have the backpacks. I think the Empire had a little bit more customizability than the Rebels, though, because they also had capes. And I think that's one of the reasons why the box was a little bigger there. So the Rebels have a little bit less, but what the Rebels have that the Empire doesn't have is they have more aliens. And I think that is an interesting distinction to kind of set these two apart. Plus, they're completely different factions, so that is also going to set them apart. Let's go ahead and look at the cards. All right, so a trick I decided to go with from the Imperial version is I'm going to take one of the other language cards, because again, you're getting 4 language stacks of cards here, and I'm going to put it right here so we can look at the Rebel Officer in all his glory, along with the point cost and all of the upgrades, because I would love to see the cards kind of have all of this information on them again, and I don't see why we couldn't have just quite simply fit all of that, shrunk everything down by like 7 or 8%, and then fit everything on the one card. But because I think we have a lot of empty space on there that we could have made that work. But what do I know? I don't know. We've got the Rebel Officer here. They are a Courage 6. I'm sorry, Courage 6 would have been insane. Health 6, Courage 2. Surge to hit, search for defense, white defense dice, 2 speed, 3 for melee, 3 black for melee, 2 white, and a black at range 2 for ranged. They have Inspire 1, and they must equip one of the new doctrines. They're 55 points. They have a doctrine, command, 2 training, weapon, equipment, and grenades. And so, we're going to also look at, and all of that's going to come into fruition more when we see all of the different upgrades. So let's take a look at the Rebel Agent here. The Agent is going to be a little different, right? He is going to be a little cheaper, only 5 health instead of 6. Still 2 courage. We still got the same surge, same weapons. We gain nimble and independent dodge 1. So this one's going to be a little bit more putting themselves in the line of fire. One interesting thing, and again, it doesn't matter, is that the art here is a little bit different. Initially, it looked like the art for this piece was the one that they were using as the operative, and then this one looked like the one that they were using as the officer. But not really a huge deal, especially since you can build them however you want. Now, he's also got equipped doctrine. You're going to get a doctrine, command, a training, weapon, equipment, and a grenade on this one as well. So on the surface, they're not too different. You have 1 health different, and you have minor different keywords, but they're also going to have their other cards. All right, so we're going to start looking at some of the upgrades. Our first doctrine we're going to look at is the Rebel Frontline Commander. This is Rebel Officer only. It's 8 points. While within range 1 of this unit, troopers gain Dauntlets, which is a nice one. The Pathfinders used to have that. This unit also gains aid for a Rebel Trooper unit, Indomitable, Spur, and Tactical 1. So you can go real fast this way. But you're also going to be taking quite a bit of suppression if you're spurring, if you're aiding people, but Indomitable is going to help you with that. So that is a kind of a cool thing. So I'm digging it. We also have the Unseen Saboteur, agent or officer. Only 5 points here. During setup, you're going to choose another non-commander, non-operative unit, trooper unit, and they're going to gain prepared position. You're going to gain low profile and prepared positions. So if you want to be starting off with prepared positions, this is the way to go. We have the Proven Tactician at 10 points, officer only. So there's a little bit more that's like restricted to specific types in this pack, right? This one's 10 points, so not cheap. It's going to increase their courage by 1. And while within range 1 of this unit, allied core units gain reinforcements. This unit gains quick thinking and exemplar. A lot of support here. And of course that makes sense more for the officer. And then we have the Reluctant Hero, also 10 points. This unit makes an attack action during the form attack pool of step 1 of its attack pool, gains critical 1 for each suppression token that it has. This unit gains Infiltrate and Relentless. Now, the cool thing about these are that they do a lot of interesting things. The terrible thing is, like, I want to run more than one of these on a specific hero, and I just can't, right? Wait till the Separatists come out, then we'll have more things like that to talk about. All right, we have other upgrades, too, that are restricted to some of these folks. And we have command cards to look at as well. By the way, the backs of all of these cards have the new Star Wars Legion back. And the command cards will look slightly different. We'll look at those when we get to them. Combat Armor, 15 points. This one is going to be incredible for the Rebels because they have so few red saves. So this one is very nice. This unit's defense becomes red instead of white, and it does not have Surge to block. By the way, I mean, technically that's a black ink, but when it's solid like that, it means red. So I wish they had color on these, because they certainly can print color, as you'll see in our next one, but that's just how they're doing it. You have the Thermal Detonator here at only 3 points. This is an exhaust. It's the Rebel Agent or Rebel Officer only. It's going to give them thermal detonators that they can throw 4 red dice, blast and impact 4, and it's range 1 or melee. And it's nice because some grenades just don't work in melee, and some grenades just do work in melee. It's always a weird thing with grenades, right? I guess, I mean, I wouldn't want to drop a grenade in melee. well, when I was in basic training, I threw a grenade and I was like, I didn't like get down because I wanted to see it blow up, and I had to get tackled by a drill sergeant to make me get down. So I get the temptation to just throw grenades like in your face so you can see the explosion, but you don't want to see that explosion. Okay, repeating blaster. 25 points. This one is expensive and it is glorious. I love this one. It says reduce this unit's maximum speed by 1. This unit gains precise 2. And it is a 6 dice attack, 3 white, 2 black, and 1 red. It is range 3. It's critical 1, impact 1, and has long shot. So this one can do some crazy things. Like I love that. I don't mind having slower speed, especially if I wanted to maybe combine this with getting spur or something like that. We have the heavy blaster pistol here also. Much cheaper at only 8 points. It is range 1 to 2. It's lethal 1. You gain Arsenal 2, which I do like Arsenal 2, especially if you're going to run grenades like that thermal detonator, for example. That's a fun, really cool thing. I love this. I love what it's able to do, especially when it's like, wait a second, I'm going to have a blaster pistol that gives me 3 dice, and this one is only 2 dice, but oh, Arsenal 2. I wish the Imperial version had that too. But no, this is nice, and you got lethal 1 on there as well. It's a pretty cool one, but the dice aren't great. But since they're adding instead of replacing with Arsenal 2, that makes it very cool. I like it. And then we have the Vibro Axe. This gives you charge. Now, that's one thing that the Rebels don't have is they don't have Relentless over here, right? So charge does give you the ability to move and still attack, which is a good thing. This one also could work well with Spur if you wanted to be able to go a little bit faster. Impact 1, lethal 1, and this is 1 red and 3 black, so 4 dice is not half bad. Although you're not getting a whole lot of in melee protection with this. This is, I think the Rebel Officer is better suited for ranged than melee, but you do have a melee option here at least. We also have some command cards. Command cards are going to have the following back. It's slightly different than the upgrade cards. And here we go. We're going to look at our 3-pip first. This is called Diversionary Tactics. This one is for the Rebel Officer only. It says 3 trooper units. I mean, it's issuable by the Rebel Officer only, right? But it activates 3 trooper units. It says when a unit is issued an order with this card, it gains a dodge token and an observation token. I like the idea that it's a 3-pip that can give 3 orders out. Dodges are nice, but I don't like the idea of giving my opponents rerolls. I would rather just run a generic 3-pip. So I'm not really a big fan of this card. There may be some tactics that I'm missing. It might work well with people that have outmaneuver or people that, being able to get dodge tokens even if you know you're not going to go first and your opponent's going to shoot at you first can be useful, especially against small dice pools, against some long-range weapons, although there are a lot of snipers that don't like to play along with that. And then we have the Battlefield Reconnaissance. This is the Rebel Agents command card. It gives, what's nice about this is it does give 2 units. So it is a 2-pip. It says 1 operative unit and 1 unit. So it's a little more flexible, considering you'll probably have at least 1 operative unit out there since the Rebel Agent exists and will be playing this card. It says this round, when creating your pass pool, add a number of additional advantage tokens equal to the current round number. So this one is extremely useful. This is clearly the better card out of the 2. This one is going to let you pass a couple of times. I think this is maybe a first turn play. I think passing on turn 1, maybe turn 2, but I think this is a good turn 1 play because you're going to have your Rebel Agent who can then go last, or whatever other unit, if you've got like a snow speeder or something that can move across, that has compulsory, that can move very quickly, or if you've got somebody who's very dangerous that needs to get to a certain spot. It gives you a lot of flexibility. If you combine with this with certain perks and things that also give you extra pass tokens, you can end up having less activations but still go last. Although I think the Rebels aren't as likely to have less activations, but being able to have an additional pass is very, very cool. and this one is really, really nice. Again, I don't see this one going too late because the later you get into the game, the less likely I think you are to want to pass. There are situations where you might want to pass on turn 3 or 4, but I think most of the time the best turn to have those pass tokens are when you have valuable units and you want them to make sure that they go last and they can get, you want to be able to get that last activation so you can, push far forward, make yourself a little vulnerable, take the shot without any risk of counterattack, and then follow it up turn 2 with a 1 pip. Or maybe with Han Solo, if he's also in there, and go with a 0 pip, so you can kind of guarantee that you're going to be able to, go back to back. And that's one of the really cool things about this card. So I think it's a really good card, and your opponent's going to have a hard time doing it. I wonder if we'll see more like Han Solo 3 pips to try to send this one back. Because if your plan is to use this first turn and somebody kind of counters it, then the only disadvantage to this is that it's a 2 pip. So you're likely to have to go first in this case. Whereas if you just play standing orders, but then again, if you're playing standing orders, you may roll off, you may lose the roll, because a lot of times, people do stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of a mixed bag, but I think it's a cool card. Maybe a turn 2 play in some cases. I don't know, we'll have to try it out and see how it goes. So before I build these out, and I'm certainly going to do that here in just a moment, I kind of wanted to plan out how I'd like them to look a certain way. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. But one of the ways that I was thinking about is I was thinking about actually running the officer as the bigger, heavy guy with the big gun. Of course, I could always run him as an agent. You can flip flop him a little bit, especially if I want to run the agent with the repeating blaster. But I know I like the look of the repeating blaster, so I definitely want one of those. I was thinking of running the agent might be a little bit better with Reluctant Hero, because that does give him Relentless. And then, of course, he would then be able to do move, and a free attack, especially if he's going to have Arsenal 2 with 2 ranged weapons. So I feel like that works really well. And if he gets stuck in melee, he also has the grenade, so he can punch and throw a grenade at the same time as well. So there's a lot of cool things, and I'd probably give him the combat armor. So I definitely have some cool options when it comes to how to build them. This gives me some ideas on how I play the cards, but I know as far as the miniatures are concerned, I do want one that's kind of like this. I'm going to have to do the Rebel agent, but I'm not going to give him that Rebel, because this is almost like a boring hat. We have this on Fleet Troopers already. I don't want that kind of hat. I'm going to go with alien heads for sure. All right, so I've gone ahead and put these guys together. I decided to put the Nautilin on the basic, what I thought was the Rebel officer body. But I gave him the big heavy gun. So he can go either way. He can be whatever I want him to be. And I think, honestly, I might find myself running the officer with that bigger heavy gun, because it can go range 4. I mean, so he can kind of lead from the back and still throw fire way down the line with an aim token, or range 3, which is going to be fine for a lot of stuff late game. So yeah, that's my thought. It allows him to kind of lead from the rear and still contribute to the fight, and I like it. So that's my thought here. I decided to not use the Togruta helm because I thought to myself, even though it looks really cool, I'd have to paint that someday. And I remember how much I hated painting Ahsoka with every little tiny line for every little thing. Now, granted, I don't have to make a multicolored Togruta, but I decided to go with the Zabrak for the heavy armor version, which in this case will probably be my agent. I waffled back and forth because I wanted the Vibro Axe. Now, the Vibro Axe had the two-handed grip on there, and I don't like two-handed melee weapons. So I shaved off the hands, and I decided to just kind of, affix it to his back. So he's got it. He's got it ready to go. But they had another hand was a grenade hand. And I was like, oh, he's got a grenade in there. He's got the thermal detonator. And I want to use that hand because that's really cool. I like the grenade hand. It fits like the way I wanted to describe him. He can run the 2-weapon approach, or he can run he can run a lot of different approaches with this kind of configuration. It can still be WYSIWYG for the most part, because he'll at least have the weapons there. And this is a fun way to do it. So I like the different backpack options. One thing that's weird is, though, only had like right arms, which had this big kind of shoulder piece armor thing on there. So I had to go with a left arm that didn't have a big shoulder piece on there. And yes, the torsos kind of only naturally fit properly onto their one base, although you could put the other one on this one, but you couldn't put this one on the other one, well, without like clipping the big knob and then gluing it down extra tight. So you could still do it, you just have to get a little bit more hobbyist, get out your hobby knife and stuff and do some funny things with them. So yeah, I didn't go with the Duros head. I've already got Duros on the regular Rebels, so I wanted to go with some alien species that I didn't have yet. So those are those guys. And if I didn't already mention, we do have, of course, our command tokens for the Rebels and also the generic command tokens as well. So we have both of those, and that's the customizable officer and agent pack for the Rebels. Overall, I have mixed feelings on this one. I think that as a whole, it offers different cool alien heads, and that is a cool thing. But I don't think... outside of the alien heads, I'm not as big of a fan with the bits and customizable bits that they gave you in this one, especially with the two-handed weapons. It means that while two-handed weapons make a lot of sense, and I understand why they did it, I'm not as big of a fan of the coolest weapons in both packs also being two-handed weapons, because it meant I couldn't do variety as much. I would love, for example, for the vibro axe to have been held in one hand, so I could have had like a vibro axe being held and then like a grenade in the other or something like that. I wish they had gone with choices like that. I also feel like if I'm comparing this one to the Imperial box had more cool things like the Viper droids, the little probe droids, and then the capes and a whole lot of extra like fun pizzazz that they gave to the Imperials that the Rebels didn't get as much of. So but they make up for that a little bit by giving you alien heads, and of course they're different factions. So again, it's a pros and cons as far as like my mixed feelings on the two, but overall still a cool box, still cool to be able to customize these. And the variety of different heads. Like if you were looking for Togruta, definitely save your extra bits, because you can use those heads in other things, and there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with those. And yeah, and I dig it. Like even this guy, like his head had him kind of looking almost a little more straight, a little more diagonal. And then once I got it in there and the glue started to dry, I just twisted the head some more. So, because I wanted to have him looking like down the sights, very cool stuff. So I love the customizability. It's very cool. There's some choices I wish they had gone with slightly differently, but there's plenty of room. I don't think this is going to be the last wave of customizables. We still have some Jedi and Separatists that are going to be coming out soon. But after that, I do think we're going to see more customizable heroes for Star Wars Legion. And I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see next from Star Wars Legion as far as customizable characters. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all, and always wash your socks.